friends, how are you doing today? Today is Wednesday, April the 21st. Can you believe the snow outside? I just can't believe it. It does not look or feel like spring today, does it? Well, anyway, we are still talking about animals and insects that we see in the springtime. So one of the things that you might see in the spring are frogs. Maybe some of you have seen them in your yard or maybe in a pond that you visited. I know Smith Gardens, lots of times there are frogs there in Oakwood. So here is a picture of a frog. Let's go over the parts of this frog. So he has a head and he has two big bulging eyes right here. You can only see one, but there's one on the other side. He has big ears that he can hear really well with on the side of his head, just like we have ears. He's got a torso or a back. He's got hind legs, and these legs are really good for swimming and leaping. He's got forelegs. He has webbed feet, which are good for swimming also. He's got a mouth, and inside of his mouth is a long, sticky tongue. You can't see it here, but frogs' tongues are really long and sticky, and they're like that because that's the way they catch their food. They catch flies and bugs and different insects. And here is a nostril or his nose. So there's the parts of the frog. And let me tell you some more interesting facts about a frog. You probably know that they're good jumpers and they're green usually. But there's also some other things about frogs that are pretty cool. So frogs are called amphibians. Amphibian, can you say that word? It's kind of tricky. Amphibian. Good job. So they're amphibians. They can be found all over the world except for one spot, and that spot is just like where bees and spiders and butterflies can't be found. Do you remember what that place is called? I bet you do. You're pretty smart. Antarctica. That's right, because it's just too cold there, right? And they can be different sizes. So the biggest frog is called a Goliath frog, and that frog is about as long as this piece of paper, maybe even a little bit longer. Can you believe that? And its legs would be that long too. So that means that that frog is about the size of a cat. So maybe some of you have cats at home or have seen a cat. That's how big a frog can get. Can you believe that? I don't know what I would do if I saw a frog that big. And they can also be as small as 1 centimeter. And that is teeny tiny. That is about like that big. So that's like a little size of little fly. Can you believe that? And they have a special skin that they can use to drink with too. So they not only drink out of their mouth, they use their skin to get water too. And let me see if there's anything else I need to tell you about frogs. I think that's all about them, but they also go through a life cycle, just like the caterpillar goes through a life cycle. And here, oh, it is. So a frog starts out as eggs, and then it gets a little tail, and it becomes a tadpole. So that's when it's called a tadpole. And then he gets his legs, and then he'll get his little arms, and when he's like this, that means he's a froglet. And then here he is as an adult-sized frog. And friends, in my backyard, I have a pond and a pool, and we get frogs every spring. And first they start out as tadpoles. And I wanted to show you a picture of the tadpoles and frogs that I get. So here are tadpoles that are in our pond. Do you see their little tails and their little heads? There they are swimming around. And then in a little while, a few weeks, about 9 weeks or so, they become frogs. Can you believe that? Frogs love the water. They like to be in the water or out of the water right by it, like on rocks, like this guy is. And they like swimming pools, but swimming pools aren't good for them. So whenever they get in our pool, we have to get them out because they could get sick in there. So for an activity today, friends, you can practice doing the frog life cycle. So I have this piece of paper and I'll be sending it home. And these are the different cards of the life cycle of the frog. So you can get help cutting these cards out, and you're going to put them on this piece of paper. So first, it starts out as eggs, right? So you'll cut the eggs out, and you're going to put that up here, the first square. And you can use tape or glue and tape it on there. And then you could do what comes next, which is the tadpole, right? And then he gets his legs, and then he gets his arms, and then he gets his full body. So you can glue all of those on here from the first stage all the way till he becomes an adult frog. I also have this activity if you would like to do. This talks about the stages as well, but this is putting them in the order again. And you're going to start with number 1, and you're going to see which one of these pictures shows the first stage of the frog. And we talked about that it's the eggs, right? So they're the eggs. So you're going to draw a line from number 1 to the eggs, and then you're going to do 2, what comes second, and 3, what comes third, 4, what comes fourth, and 5, what comes the fifth step, which is when he's an adult frog, right? So you should have 5 lines on your paper. Another activity that you could do if you would like is you could practice writing the words. So here's the words. We have eggs and tadpole and legs and froglet and adult. So you can practice tracing those letters. And one more thing for you, if you would like to do, is this this activity, and this is talking about what frogs eat. So we have these foods down here, and you can get help cutting these out. And if the frog eats it, you're going to put it in here where the check mark is. And if he doesn't eat it, you're going to put it over here. And again, you can use glue or tape to do this. Or if you don't want to cut them, you could just draw what they eat and what they don't eat. I wanted to share with you our caterpillars. They're doing really well. I have to be really careful with them because they are starting to form some silky thread, which means that they're getting close to forming their chrysalises. So they're working on that thread. Do you see that thread in the jar? You see how big they're getting? They're doing really well. I can't wait to show you guys next week. And they're eating still, and they're moving around. So friends, I hope you enjoyed doing the frog activities today. And tomorrow we will be talking about birds. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all tomorrow. I miss you. Bye.